Hi, guys. So I am back. And to make a very long story short and condensed, I'm going to talk today about inconsistency. So, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have wanted to be consistent with the podcast. Every single episode, I'm like, I promise I'm going to be consistent. I promise I'm going to be consistent. And the thing about my brain is that it very much operates in black and white. So, like, I'm either doing everything perfect and everything is going as it should, or I just give up. And of course, that has a lot to do with the way I was raised. I was expected to be perfect, right? Like, if I did chore, like, my mom would say this all the time. Si no lo vas a hacer bien, ni lo haga. And for those who don't speak Spanish, it says, if you're going to do it, then do it well. The thing is, when you're a fucking kid, like you really are trying your best, like you're not trying to clean the bathroom wrong. You're not trying to sweep and mop wrong. But like, something about growing up in like a Hispanic household. I don't know if it's generational and I don't know like they were treated that way and their parents were treated that way, and I'm sure it has something to do with like slavery and patriarchy. You're expected to be on 100 at all times. Like it does not matter if you are a kid, an adult, an old person, like everything must be perfect. And if it's not perfect, then you're going to be heavily criticized by it. My mom expects perfection, even out of herself, right? Because you can only view the world through your lens. So, like, if you expect perfection in your life, then you think everyone around you should be as perfect as possible. Because also, the people around you are a reflection of you. And I'm not demonizing my mother's side fucking note. My mom is just a product of her environment, just like I am, just like you are. Let's say my mom expects perfection in her life at all times. When she looks at me, I'm an extension of her. I'm her daughter. So she wants me to be just as perfect as her, because if I'm not, then what does that say about her? Does that make sense? Because of that, I have always struggled with perfectionism, right? And when I was in school, it was very easy for me to just be perfect. Like as long as I studied, as long as I knew the material, I was going to get an A. And there was like no way that I could fuck that up. As long as I didn't talk when I wasn't supposed to talk, as long as I stayed out of trouble, like there was no way I could fuck that up. But the thing is, like, when you get older, you can fuck shit up in so many ways, right? When you're an adult, you almost have to give up control in order to exist, at least for the way that I've been living life. Like I've almost had to give up being in control of everything for me to even be able to exist, because it's hard to have everything in control. It's hard to always get gas before my gas light turns on. Right? It's hard for me to get an oil change right when I'm supposed to get the oil change. It's hard for me to get to my son's school on time every fucking day. It's hard for me to wake up on time every fucking day. The truth of that matter is perfection does not exist in this world. It just fucking doesn't. Right? We can give the illusion of perfection. Like we can give the illusion that we did the best set of lashes ever. And they could look amazing, but they could fall out the next day. There's no such thing as perfection. No one is perfect. No one is perfect 100% of the time. There's just, it's impossible. That's just not the way that the world operates. And the reason that I am inconsistent with my podcast and my content creation, it's because I'm expecting perfection out of me. But the thing about content creation and podcasting is that it's a long game. I mean, and that's how lashing is too. I mean, honestly, that's how most things in life are. Like, it's the long game. You're playing the long game. It's a marathon, it's not a fucking sprint. And when I miss a week of posting, then I like get in my head and I'm like, well, then I have to do 2 episodes next week. And then like that pressure causes me to buckle, and then it turns into, well, I need to do 30 episodes and I need to release them one each day so that like I can start being relevant again. And I just go to black and white thinking. And because of that, it feeds into more inconsistency. Like it's a cycle of, instead of giving myself grace and being like, okay, well, I haven't posted in like 4 months. That's okay. Let's just jump right in and see what I can do this time. Instead, I'm like, you haven't posted. What are you going to do? How are you going to come back? Your first episode needs to be great. And like, that's how I sometimes treat content creation, where it's like, I cannot just like post something out there. Like I'm like, it has to be perfect. I have to have the perfect lighting with the perfect client with the perfect lashes. And when you have that black and white thinking, it literally hinders you, right? And for a long time, I just kept avoiding the podcast. I just kept avoiding it and avoiding it and avoiding it. And I kept telling myself, I'm going to post, I'm going to post. But then I never did because it was just so overwhelming. I say that to say, if this is you with content creation, if this is you with your lash business, if you have a lash business as a side hustle, if you've only been doing it part time and you have a full time, and sometimes you fall off and you're like, how do I go back? I only have 5 clients. How do I go back to 10? If you are somewhere where you're just like feeling so much shame because you come from an environment where you were expected to be perfect all the fucking time, and you hold yourself to the same fucking standard, I want you to understand that the whole reason that fable, the tortoise and the hare, but basically like the turtle and the rabbit, I guess I could say those words instead of tortoise and hare. The reason that fable exists is because it's true. If you go slow, but you keep going and you don't stop, you'll make it. Versus if you just go fast, you do a sprint, like anything can happen. Yeah, you can win sometimes, but you may not be able to keep up that momentum. So if you are lashing part time or you are lashing full time, but you're just not fully booked out, if any of that is happening to you, don't give up. Just keep going. Just make one more post. Just get up every day and tell one more person about it. Like every day, just try a little bit, just a little bit. Try to just keep going. Keep going. And the thing that made me jump back into my podcast is that I want to change my life, right? And if you want to change your life, then the worst thing you can do is just stop. That's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do is just try every single fucking day. And so here we are back again with the podcast. And I'm not going to make any promises like I have in the past. Instead, this is what I'm going to say to you. I'm going to try every day and every week to put something out. And if I get something out, woohoo. And if I don't, that's okay. I'm going to try again the next day or the next week. This is a very, very short podcast episode because I just wanted to jump back in with a lesson for y'all and show you that like I struggle with this. I think because I grew up in a household where perfection was expected, I put out only what I think will make me look great or make me look good in a certain light. And the reality of it is I have been in the lash game for 9 years and I still struggle with content, whether it's content for y'all or content for clients. I still struggle to open up my laptop and put out a podcast episode. It's life. It's normal. It's okay. Every day is different. And the only constant thing in life is change. And you are bound to change your life, whether it's with lashes or by being a trainer or even hiring an employee or opening up a storefront. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do that. But I just ask that every day you wake up and you just try to get better at that. You just try to not give up on your dreams, because I know that your life can change. I know it can. I know it can because mine has. And now I'm yearning and wanting even more change. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting upward mobility. I know some of the girls that I mentor struggle with that. They struggle with, who do I think I am? Why do I deserve this? Why do I think I should have a better life? I believe you can change because I have been able to change. So here's to change. Let's get started again on this podcast. If you're here and you've been here from the beginning, thank you so much. I am so excited to have you listen every single time I put something out. I have nothing but love and appreciation for you. Thank you so much.